your consulting business, you're ready to take it out of that revenue level that maybe you've been stuck in and you want to go bigger, get into multiple 6 and even 7 figures. Well, I want to talk to you today about a rinse and repeat marketing strategy that you can use over and over again to bring in clients like clockwork. Bring in as many clients as you want. Bring them in whenever you want. This gives you predictability and consistency in the growth of your business. So often coaches and consultants don't have a predictable system, something they can count on, that every time they do this strategy, it brings them business. And if you don't have that in your business, then you are really missing opportunity and you're leaving your business to chance. So I want to share with you one of my favorite strategies. It is the free 2-day virtual event strategy. It's been a game changer for me in my business. It catapulted me to completely new levels in my business. And I teach this strategy to my clients who are ready to scale their business. And you can use the same thing to be able to put something in place that can be more consistent and predictable. So let's dive in. Very quickly, if you don't know who I am, my name is Ann Carden. I'm a top business growth strategist, and I help coaches and consultants who are excellent at what they do build really high-end premium businesses. I help them get those high caliber clients and build their business with 40K to 150K plus clients, months, or paydays. So if that interests you, then stay tuned because this is one of the strategies that I teach. All right. I love a virtual event. I love a free 2-day virtual event. And I run them short. I run events that are shorter sometimes, but I will tell you this, the conversion is much higher on the 2-day event. Now, I'm not talking about 2 full days. Typically, each day is about 2.5 hours long, maybe 3 hours on the high side if you want to go that long. But the reason I love the 2-day, and by the way, I get almost 100% show rate in my events for both days. The reason I love the 2-day is because it really gives you an opportunity to build the relationship with the people who attend. And there's nothing else that can do that. A webinar doesn't do that. A 60-minute webinar doesn't do that. And so it gives you the opportunity to really interact with people, let them see what it's like to work with you. You build that relationship and get them really comfortable with the fact that you know what you're doing. So a 2-day event strategy is fantastic. Now, why free? Well, I have done it both ways where I've charged for people to get into the room and I've also run free events. And I actually find that when I use the strategy that I'm going to walk you through and I don't charge, I actually have better conversions with higher end clients. And the reason for that is when you're charging even small fees, you're not necessarily bringing the right people into the room. You will get a lot of people that might buy just to copy you. So you're getting competitors that want to see what you're doing and they may even be copying you. You might get people in the room that are not big investors. They just want to invest a little bit of money, but they're not your really serious clients or people that could be your clients. And so you want to change this up. So when you're very selective about the people that you let into the room and you keep the room at a really high level, you will have a much higher quality person that will come to your event. Now, a couple things that you do need to know though. It's harder to get people, those 100K clients, those $100,000 clients. It's harder to get those people to come to the room because typically they're busier, they have a lot going on, and it's more difficult to get them to take the time. However, not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying that typically the people that come to events like this you're going to see are going to be around the $10,000 to $50,000 range in your pricing, okay? Which brings me to the next point. You want to make sure that what you are selling in your event falls sort of in that range. So if you want $40,000 months, let's say, and you run a free virtual event every single month and you sign 4 people at 10K, you have $40,000 months, right? If you want $100,000 months or $150,000 months and you sign 2 or 3 people at $50,000, Well, now you can see that you have those kinds of months. So this is the thing that I love about it. Now, there are some other ways that I help you get paid in fulls and be able to get those big shots of money into your bank account. And that all goes into the details when I work with my clients. I'm not going to cover that today. I know that I've talked about things like that on other videos, so you can go check some of those out. But today I really just want to walk you through the process, walk you through the 6 steps to have these really incredible 2-day free virtual events. Okay. So if you could bring in multiple 5 or even 6 or multiple 6 figures in one event, how much faster could you scale your business? That's really what this whole strategy is designed to do. It is the pathway to being able to bring in those kinds of numbers with a virtual event. Now, I'm not making any income claims, but I am going to show you what I've used and what others have used to be able to do this. Okay. So the first thing that you want to do when you're planning your virtual event is you want to start with the end in mind. What is it you want to sell people into from that virtual event? Because this is going to be the determining factor for everything else that you do in that event. In other words, you want to set up, okay, this is what I want to sell. And then you're going to reverse engineer and we're going to figure out all the other pieces so that you can influence buyers in that event and get them to want to sign up with you. Makes sense? So what are you going to sell? Start with this. Then who is that going to be for? So what are you going to sell? Who are you going to sell that for? That would be step number 1. Step number 2 is you now want to do the math. How many people do you need to have in the room based on your closing ratio that would hit your numbers? Let's say you're selling a $25,000 program and you have a close ratio of 25%, that means you need 16 vetted people in the room that are the right prospects. You need 16 people if you're going to close 4 of those. So do the math, know your numbers. This has to be figured out or you're never going to hit your numbers. You can't just put a certain amount of people in the room and expect that you're going to be able to hit your goals unless you are breaking it down. And you need to know your close ratio. You need to know what you're charging, how many people that would be to make that happen, and then how many people do you need in the room. So those are the numbers that you want to track and that you want to be mindful of. Okay, so number 1 was start with the end in mind and who is your event going to be for? What are you going to sell them into? Number 2 is make sure that you do the math. Okay. Number 3 is you want to make sure that you have a topic that is going to not only pull the right people into the room, but lead them into what you want to sell. So you need cohesiveness here. Your topic needs to feed them until they decide that they want to buy. If your topic is disconnected from what you're selling, you're not going to have good conversion. So make sure that topic is really dialed in, it's compelling, it's irresistible, and it's relevant, I should say, to these people because you want your topic to pull them into the room. Once you get them in the room, your content should influence them to buy. It should really be breaking down the things that they need. You're actually helping them in this event accomplish something. So one of the things that makes these 2-day free events so powerful is you want them to really walk away with something. So for example, in a lot of my events, I will show them how to actually create a $100,000 offer or how to put together a $50,000 offer, how to construct that, how to frame that out, what that should look like. And they can actually take what I teach and go back and do it. So you want them to walk away with something very specific that's really valuable to them. But here's the reality. You can't give them everything. I can teach people how to put together $100,000 offers, but then they need the marketing and they need the sales process. And they maybe don't even know who that would be for. And so there's all these other moving parts and pieces that have to go into being able to sell that. And it will be the same for you. They also need the marketing strategies and the system, right? So all of those things now they're part of my program, but they are also other things that they need. However, you're giving them still a really great step forward. So even if they leave your event and they don't buy because maybe the timing's not right or they're not ready to invest, it's okay. You've still left them with massive value, and they will be so grateful that they were invited into the room to sit in with you and actually learn from you. And down the road, then they may choose to want to work with you. So this is the power of having really great events. It builds your credibility, it builds people's trust with you, and you literally help them walk away with something that can be super beneficial. All right. So make sure that you have a topic that pulls them into the room and actually will move them to want to buy it, moves them down that buyer's journey. The fourth step is you want to pre-qualify. You want to select the people and invite the people that you believe could be a good fit for you and for what it is you're trying to sell. And you want to pre-qualify people. So I like to call this the velvet rope strategy. I've talked about this in the past. This would be, let's say you are going to the Oscars or the Emmys or the Grammys, and they have this velvet rope. And not everyone gets behind the velvet rope, right? It's the same for your event. When you pre-qualify people and you vet the room and you have conversations with people to see if they would be a good fit to come into the room, then you can keep the room at a really high level, which, by the way, high-end clients value that they would be in there with other high-level people. That should be one of the benefits of them attending your event. And then you also make sure that you have qualified buyers. So you do not have to have hundreds of people in your event. With a handful of people, you could have a six-figure or a multiple six-figure event if you're putting the right people into the room and everything lines up with how you implement this strategy. Again, not making income claims. I want to be very clear about that. Okay. So you want to have the velvet rope strategy. You want to qualify people, make sure the right people are coming into the room. This will be a game changer for you, because then you are not sitting there teaching people and working with people that are really not ready for you or ready for what it is you can help them do. It also, like I said, will keep the energy up in the room when you have the right people, and it will, people appreciate that they're in there with other high level people. So there's so many benefits to this. All right. Step number 5 is your content should influence them to want to buy from you. So all of your content should be implemented in a way that it really is feeding them to see where they have gaps, what they need, and how you can help them. And when you really maximize the content, you can't give them everything. You don't give them everything because you can't in a short amount of time, but it still feeds them to want to work with you. So here's a good example. I can think of one of my events where I helped people. I showed them how to map out $100,000 offer, and then I showed them the high level steps to marketing that offer and the sales process and the positioning in the market, all the other things that go along with being able to sell those really high end offers. And so when someone bought from me, she already was mapping out her offer, but she knew that if she really wanted to do things right, she had to buy into my program. And that was actually the conversation that we had, even though she basically had mapped out her $100,000 program. But here was the thing. I was able to see that program and make it even better, make it even stronger so that she could go out and sell it. So even though sometimes people think they have the pieces or they think they have it figured out, you know, if it's your expertise, you will be able to help them make that even better. And so this is one of the things that you want to speak on as well and bring out in the workshop. Look, why are you an expert at what you do? Because you know things that other people don't know, right? Same thing for me. And so you want to make sure that these things come out in the workshop with your content. So again, these are all details and pieces of how to make these events really successful. But when you do this in the right way, you'll get more buyers at the very end, and people will be super excited to get into your program or be signed on as a client or enrolled as a client. Okay, finally, step number 6 is you want to make sure that you do a follow-up testimonial with every single person. So you want to get every person on the phone after the event to give a video testimonial. Now, there are a couple of reasons for this. If they want to buy from you or talk to you about your services, that's a great time for them to do it. But even if they don't, even if they do not, it gives you another touch point with them. It builds that relationship with them again. It gives you real-time feedback for how to make your events better, so you can keep making them better and better, so that you can keep getting more business every time you run one. And the other thing that it does is it gives you a testimonial about what they learned and what they got from it. And you get to use that in your marketing to help fill the next one. Because here's the thing, people don't often think that a free 2-day virtual event has value. And I will tell you, I've had people leave my virtual events saying, "Ann, you could have charged thousands of dollars for this." Well, I know I could have, but in the end, I made a lot more money by not charging at all and vetting the room and having the right strategy in place. So this is just a powerful, powerful strategy. I love it. I use it consistently in my business. It's been a game changer. I add some other strategies in as well to keep ramping things up, because we never want to just depend on one strategy to fill our business and to keep us growing. We always want to have multiple ways we're getting clients, but this is definitely a powerful strategy. So listen, if you would like to know how to implement this into your business and you want some help doing this, because maybe you've tried events and they haven't worked, or you've had the wrong people in the room, or they haven't converted the way you want, or you just haven't made the money and they're a lot of work, or maybe you're just trying to put too many people in the room and they're exhausting. Well, the strategy that I teach is at a higher level. So you can have bigger numbers with a handful of clients when you have the right pricing, the right offer, you have the right target market, and you have the right strategy and system in place to bring these right people into the room, and the right closing process to close these people into clients. So it's really powerful, incredible, and I would love to help you implement it into your business if you're ready to really ramp up and grow your coaching or consulting business. So you can let me know. And this will really work in any industry. It will really work in any type of coaching, consulting, professional service business where you're servicing clients. It can help you, again, bring in clients like clockwork whenever you want, and as many as you want. I mean, you could run this as much as you want. So the other thing that I just want to say very quickly is this isn't about you going out and looking for all these people yourself to put in the room. You may have to do that at first if you don't quite have the funds to get some help. But the idea is to get one working, get one to be successful. And then you take a little bit of that money and you hire the team, or you hire the people. Those are all things I help people do as well, to then, okay, how do we ramp this up? How do we scale this in your business? And that's sort of the back end part. When people work with me, it's like, okay, now let's build your team so you're not doing all of this stuff yourself. Because that's the one complaint with coaches and consultants about running virtual events. They've been taught to run virtual events, but they've been taught to basically do everything themselves. And that can be exhausting. Or they've been taught to run paid ads. Not saying that that's not a good strategy, but if you don't have a system dialed in that works without paid ads, it's not going to work with paid ads. And so either way, you still need to implement a system that you can count on, and that's predictable, that you can run consistently, and then you can ramp it up with paid ads and with a team, all of those things. So that's how you really grow it and scale it. So let me know your thoughts. And if you want some help doing this in your business, you can book a call with me at acarden.com, and you can talk to me about my $1 Million Accelerator program. It helps you implement all of these strategies and even more, so that you don't have to worry about how you can grow your business. There's so many things along the way that stop people in their tracks and hold them back. And I want to help you get over all of those hurdles so that you can grow that 7-figure and beyond business. So book a call at acarden.com. Let's talk about how we can work together. And I can't wait to speak to you.